person in SoCal. So I've been judging. The way I got into Magic was kind of at Comic-Con, right? I had high school friends, and then the tournaments I knew about were pre-releases and Comic-Con, which all took place at the San Diego Convention Center. So like that's how I got into like more Magic. Didn't go to FNM or anything initially. But playing Magic at a convention is a high opportunity cost, right? You gotta pay for a badge, you have to pay for the event, and every minute you're not playing, you're playing Magic is a minute you're not enjoying the con, right? There's a ton of things to do while at the convention. You guys know, panels, the floor show, exclusives to pick up. But this is in contrast to the freaking fantastic prizes. Foil uncut sheets from the Vault, not the Vault Planeswalkers, Comic-Con Planeswalkers. Lots of great prizes. Like uncut sheets are worth a super pretty penny, right? And it's the only place where you can win uncut sheets, to my knowledge. I've asked around, and no one seems to know where they come from other than Wizards sends them to conventions. So with that in mind, our focus on tournaments should be fast tournaments with lots of people playing Magic and prizes going to as many participants as possible. Because when you look at the participants, we have a range of scale. Like in Adina's presentation, we have the person who played 20 years ago, and we have the super competitive player on the other end who wants the uncut sheet because that's just, plus EV all day. And so like you'll have people who are like, oh yeah, I have some of these cards, and they're like, they're casting a spell is like a serious task for them. Like it'll take forever, even though they have all lands in one spell, and it's really just land past a turn. Right. So yeah, since we have such a broad spectrum, it's hard for us to regulate because the prizes are so great. We don't run things at competitive REL. We run everything at regular REL. So missed triggers, rewinds, it's all way more customer service based than anything.
Handling triggerability. Anything else?
Whenever people get like mad or angry, like we have a lot of stuff like we got to focus on customer service and getting them happy. So that factors into like prize support and factors into every aspect of the tournament, as opposed to being really strict on rules like we would in competitive events.
State-based action, yes.
So with that in mind, my tournament structure is all the same no matter what event it is for tournaments. 8 players, 3 rounds. More than 8 players, 4 rounds with a cut to undefeated. Because usually prize support is like one item, right? So then the undefeated will play out single elimination for that one item. And then prize support is, depending on the TO, it's between like 1 to 2.5 boosters per head, and you just figure out anybody with a winning record should get prize. And I do it based on SwissTriangle.net. You guys know that website that does the breakdown of all the things, so you don't manually have to do it. Just doing it on your phone is super quick and easy. And anybody with a positive record will get at least a pack, and then you prize out portion based on there. And then final standings will determine if anybody else gets prizes. So you allot, SwissTriangle.net will give you your number of players, and if they have more draws or ties or drops, and there's still people playing, there's a possibility that 2 and 2 will get a prize. But you can also tell people once you have 2 losses, it's not likely for you to get a prize. You can then get out of there and go and check out some other event in the con or jump into another event. Also, 8-man drafts like fill and go are never gonna fire. Like absolutely will never fire. So if people want to draft and you have the product and support this, set designated times. If you can, I would look at the event schedule and find out where there would be breaks, where people would like don't set like the Comic-Con. We now have the Magic panel every year. Don't set it anywhere near that time, right? But like a set scheduled time so like players that want to get to it will make it part of their schedule and go to that time. So there's no way we can contact anyone if they sign up for an 8-man draft and then go venture back and check back in. We're never gonna have 8 people who want to draft at the exact same time at a convention, unless they're all 8 buddies and they. But there's just so much to do at a convention. You're not going to have that opportunity.
Maybe that list is not conclusive, but I'd say it's going to get you. It probably covers 99% of the questions in my experience. So now that you know, these are the things that.
Oh, and this is like an aside. Tournament math doesn't help at all for these formats, so that's why I do just straight cut to undefeated. And it throws off a lot of newer players when they have like the players doing the tournament math, trying to figure out when they can draw into the top 8. That's why there's no top. It's cut to the undefeated players, which is important because it gets the tournament running smoothly, right? And then an aside, I totally hate tournament math. I think if you're playing in a tournament, you should be playing Magic because that's what we're here for. Nick, you have a question? Yes. And then always, have prize support for the people who get cut, which you should have because you've allotted so much to those people. So they still get a prize. I guess this was a lot shorter than I anticipated. Anyone have any questions?
What are some of the things that, if you were put on staff at a convention to help work it, what are some of the things that you can do to help make sure that the players are playing as much Magic as possible?
Like, definitely talk to the players and find out their level. If they're a beginner, throw them in the demo game, because usually you always have the demo judge who just sits in demos all day. Throw them to that first, and then also you then give them cards to play with, and then get them to even if there's 2 of them, have them play against each other, right? And like walk through their games and just get them started, and then they'll have them ask questions. Tell them teach them how to call a judge. That it may seem super basic, but learning how to raise your hand and say judge and wait for a response is not as common as I would have thought, right? We have people who kind of look at you as if they look at me so I can get your help, but if you call, they don't know that if you call a judge, I will immediately go to you, right? They're trying to make eye contact like a waiter in a restaurant, right? Trying to flag them down without being too subtle. No.
The second part of what we need to make sure they are capable of is customer service.
Yeah.
And getting a grasp on where they're at in their social interaction with players is really only identifiable by watching them interact with players. So oftentimes what
that's a good point. We don't want players to wander off if they're queued up for an event. So get them into league. League play with Sim Shields events is usually a box of open product. Plus random promos thrown in, and whenever they play, they come up, winner draws 2 cards from the box, loser draws 1, and they can add that to their deck. And then usually we start out with a theme deck, and then they slowly modify it with cards over time. And then people get super excited because it's a lottery again, right? Oh man, I got a foil rare, and someone opens red dragon, and dragons are awesome, right? They're big red flyers. Yeah, and they get more cards, and they see the more I play, the more cards I get, and they're also getting better at the game at the same time.
So, for a lot of the people who are here, how would they be able to get on staff at a convention to try to help out? And why would they want to? What's the different things that you could learn at a convention that you may not learn at a BTQ?
To get on staff for a convention, I recommend learning Kaijudo. No, seriously, that it is a thing that being well versed in whatever games that WotC's putting out, because you'll have questions. The TO is also responsible for demoing or running tournaments of that nature or that card game, and like it's a good skill to learn. And Kaijiro isn't that bad. It's not, it's kind of fun. It's Magic Light kinda, but it totally the combat totally takes its own direction. But if you understand resource management, like it's got the resource management of Magic, put its own combat system, and it's not bad. Anyway, the reason you would want to get onto these events is they're super fun. Conventions have a ton of things to offer. You meet a ton of different players, and it's a great. If you guys like teaching new players, it's the best place to teach, or where you'll encounter the newest players. And then we have a few questions I'm gonna get here first.
Let's say you got like you get your 8-person team to roll around and you got one of your players in one off. And you're
So you have 7 players that are ready to play. This one's super easy. Yeah, 2 last calls. You give them maybe 5-10 minutes tops. Then immediate last call we need 1 player for this event to fire. Then we get someone in, and then make an announcement.
Specifically with that, we like any time we've got slow filling events, take them at some on the sign-up sheet we do.
That's great, but not at Comic-Con, because self-service just goes to hell with a million people in a convention center.
You text them again.
Also, keep in mind, at large conventions, do not rely on having internet service running your events. You will not receive it.
Oh yeah, Anime Expo. You're in a big concrete block garage. Yeah. All right, and then I think Chris had a question.
A good skill learned is customer service.
Yes.
Really what you're doing there, you're talking to a lot of new players, a lot of players who played 10, 15 years ago. It's really nice to
continue to work on
done some casual magic already.
Yeah. It's a,
I think I would also observe that your relationship with the TO at the convention tends to be an awful lot more interactive than it would be. I mean, here, if you had interaction as a judge with Tim Shields at the GP, it was more than likely a social thing. A convention, he needs that feedback from players really enjoy that event. What kind of things people are looking for. He wants that information from you, so you tend to have a much more two-way
And I'm ready to make stand on that, conventions, it's lower stakes too, so if you want to be able to learn other sort of roles, so it's a great opportunity if you've never gotten exposed before, you might have an opportunity to sit in and do that because, we're not running a brand or something like that. Or if you want to be in that demo role and just be demoing the game, there's those opportunities as well if you want to, sit there and like teach people, ask me that question, that sort of thing. So great ways to kind of experience a convention if you don't just want to be on your feet on magic judging, because there's going to be
and I just didn't have any concept of like what different things a judge.
So what about for conventions smaller than?
On that level, I show them the different things that judging will bring to them that they
I want to have magic at my convention. Come do that.
about something. And then that's what you want to latch onto.
schedule events. Like if the convention has a program guide, get events scheduled as opposed to like free-flowing events. Right, like that's on-demand events are not going to fire. And explain to the TO that you want lots of prizes, not high-end prizes, right? Because you want people to play and have fun, and also do like low-level tournaments, like theme deck battles, right? The convention league that Chris was talking about. Any kind of where people can just play at their own pace. For like at any time is one category of things that you need to have. The other one would be scheduled events with lots of prizes. Yeah.
I think that the smaller the convention, the harder it will be to fire any actual conventional tournament. So I think your best bet, especially if you're doing it at a smaller convention for the first time, is to maybe have like one scheduled event in the evening and have to try and draw as many people there as possible, and then have the league type stuff available all weekend long so that you don't have to have a huge amount of people at any one given time in order to make an event fire. So you schedule all these events, what you're going to do is dilute the small number of people that are using Magic at a smaller scale convention. And some of your events will be fire, you'll disappoint people will be scheduling time and
My one experience with trying to run Magic
How would you get to the beginning of it? Your error was at the beginning. This is all logical stuff. Right to the conclusion. Because again, identify the individual issue that's causing the beginning. That's going to be the best teaching point for them.
Up in an almost empty room.
Secondly, how they should be explaining possible.
Especially for like some of the smaller events, price-wise,
It shows that, so, it shows them the way that they can explain.
you really don't want to be really like winning balls. You don't want to be really like, if you're like 8 man, you want to be like,
Typical power toughness related.
Win.
like pack away or like 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
For him, it was a difficult question.
Oh yeah, run them
Power toughness.
Yeah, definitely run them Swiss.
But,
yeah,
you can say, well, you know, I think.
Definitely switch over a single limb
I think it's
in all cases.
Unless you got like 8 grinders, you want to just.
Wow, he may have left to the right. He may not have the right block.
Issue with Swiss is that you also not
Having him break over half that is important to show that.
Yeah. It's kind of a fine balance, but so I mean, Swiss. If you're playing with like a bunch of casual players, it's like especially like newer players, they're there to play Magic. They're not there to grind. So you want them playing like you would want them at like an SM.
Usually when you explain to these people that this event is going to last 5 hours, they
Oh
immediately want this
I would never run an event that large unless it's like a comic.
Well, a draft was 3 rounds.
Okay, that's about 5 hours. Yeah.
So for 8-man events, I usually will just let people know these are single elimination events. However, we're not kicking you out to get eliminated. If you would like to continue playing with your draft deck with the other people who have been eliminated, you are welcome to do so, but you're no longer be within the structure of the tournament. So the players don't feel like they're obligated to be here if they get knocked out. And it also makes them feel like they are more than welcome to continue playing.
Hopefully you'll want to schedule a good portion of sealed related tournaments because you're going to have a lot of people coming in there that don't actually have cards, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you can have a few constructed events on the schedule, but you're going to have a lot more success with things like mini masters, right? Low price point, sealed, casual.
And on that point, you might also want to, like just in general scheduling, you might want to like start your day off with most of the limited events, and then as you go on, like sprinkle in a few like standard casual constructed events, or even block constructed events, so that way some of the people who started the day and they want to come back and play with the cards they drafted or they opened in their sealed pool, they get to play with them in decks.
That's what pushing the league play.
Yeah.
And then the number one rule is don't make people cry. Right?
Yeah.
Like at conventions, like people are like, oh, can I use these cards like in the league play? I'm like, the rule is don't make people cry. So we just want to have fun. Like when we play Legacy and get prizes, like you'll have some people who will grind the league play box and will have Legacy decks. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you guys, as long as your opponent's okay with it, present it. I want you to present it first. Like, I want to play this Legacy deck. It's a very powerful deck, and then if they're not, don't have it, then you guys will play with the themed deck battles. Okay. And they'll just go and they'll play each other over and over again. And every time they'll come up, grab cards, and yeah.
How harsh do you have to be? Like, I guess it's a bad way to question it. How much do you believe two players if they come up and say, we just played 10 games, can we do 10 rounds of time? Like, how strict do you have to be on the league prize money?
You watch, like you're in command of the area. So also you can designate an area for league play. Like that way they can find each other. Because sometimes you have a ballroom, whatever. You have league players over here, league players over here. Don't never intermingle. Whenever you sit, like all league plays is happening on these two tables or whatever, these two rows. They'll interact more. Right. And just take the time, right? Like. You haven't been in here that long, and just call them on it. Most people will immediately back down and be like,
Isn't the whole point of the league play box for it to not be like the cards in it not to be that big of a deal, so people aren't incentivized to game?
Exactly.
People are going to try. It's going to be rare.
Gamers are going to game.
And if they game it, then they've like games you off and
Right. Congratulations.
The thing is, I've definitely seen leagues where it's like, go play 5 matches, and after you play 5 matches, come back to like a seal booster pack or something. And people will game that. They'll like go off with their buddy and say, hey, why don't we just go up there and say we played a match and get the stamp over there.
I think the key to that is just making it so you don't incentivize it.
Yeah. Lower the prizes. Right. Have lots of prizes, but they go to everyone.
You'd be amazed how hard these kids see events to fire. The year the full art Beatles came out at Comic Con, they had 4 there as a prize. I could not get 8 people signed. Could not get it. It was ridiculous.
Didn't you also one Comic Con win an EDH event and another event at the same time?
I did. I killed like 12 EDH players and played the finals of the standard event.
You sometimes have convention grinders.
That happens.
Sometimes you have Chrissy Gauthier.
And actually, for mine, the the original EDH pre-cons that come out at that time. So having those available from vendors at the con also just meant people could have EDH decks that they just be playing that.
I remember the year that came out, Jim had an event at Comic-Con that was, you are paying MSRP for the EDH pre-con, and you get the pre-con league. In the EDH league.
That, and it's just, you have something that's better than sealed, and you get to play multiplayer, one-on-one, whatever, play Magic with it, do something with it.
Gift cards.
Yeah, it's fun. More interesting than here's like Barrow's pre-con, that is actually sealed.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Alright, thanks guys. Talk.